one, right? This is all the documentation in each uh, funnel, but we observe only this one. And our understanding right now, whenever we not achieve a certain number, then it should come
Oh,
back to the chapter to create any kind of improvement in each stage.
I
But after
see.
I actually heard your explanation about this one, where
Uh-huh.
is it? For example, where is it? Tendi's card. Yes, that's belongs to like the. I think this one belongs to transformation only, sir. Although they actually needs conversion and etc. But the yeah, oh, that's belong to transformation, transforming the partner. But we need the skill.
Right. So we need to talk about whether or not what we're trying to do with this card. Are we trying to transform the partner? Or are we trying to build the skill to transform the partner? Right. So those are two different goals. They support each other, or actually, the transforming the skill supports transforming the partner. So I think the I think the simplest way to organize things. Let me think about this, but I think the simplest way to organize things is such. This is just a guess, but let's throw it out there so we have something to build on. All right. So
Mhm.
squad meetings remain the same as they've done before because essentially in the past we've been having squad meetings. Everyone
Yep.
gets together to talk about the mission and what are all the campaigns that support the mission. Effectively, all the work done in this particular board are submissions to support the main mission of partner transformation, right? But what we created chapters for in the very beginning was to reduce the problem of reinventing the wheel, right? We kept on doing the same things, and there was uneven consistency in our performance. So the tool that we created to create evenness in performance and not reinventing the wheel was we would adopt a culture of using good documentation, and that's why we moved to Coda. So the chapter level work I think needs to be in Coda. The squad level work can be here on Trello, and perhaps, right, the missing part right now, which Nadine, me, and I think we've been circling around this, is where do we report the updates on chapter progress, right? So we can report on mission progress here. This is showing how close we're getting to our mission. But where do we report on, are we becoming more persuasive? Are we getting better at awareness for partnerships? Are we getting better at transforming in our own individual ways those skill sets, right? So that particular reporting is not really clear right now because there's no method to track the progression of our skills. This is the progression of a mission. So I think this just remains here. That's the best understanding that I have. So we should not, I think, in this moment, attempt to move or create new Trello boards for chapters. If we do create Trello boards for chapters, they simply just should be dashboards to monitor the progression of our KPIs, which then kind of brings it into a funny space, Willis, because then that is essentially a BI dashboard, right?
Yeah, I think like this one, right?
Yes, yes. So think of like the purpose of BI is to track the skills that everybody is particularly using, the input and outputs of each particular, let's say, chapter, and understand, is this chapter doing its best to convert the input into the output? That's what BI has been doing for inquiry conversion. That's what BI has been doing for projections. Is really to think about, okay, what comes in and what goes out, and how to take that operational cycle and monitor it and also improve it. So currently, I don't actually think we need another Trello board for the chapter for the moment, right? Um, and I think if we create new Trello boards and we divide everything, we will probably get confused and start moving everything back again, which I already noticed with Nadine, right? Nadine, after talking with Bayou about moving the inquiry conversion. Oh, here's a good example. Here, let's test this out to everyone. Okay. So, Nadine, you moved the HAR inquiry optimization campaign card from BI to, or is it from HAR
It's from
to,
HAR, not from
okay,
BI.
okay, from HAR to here.
Yep.
Now, let's go to Lilith. Lilith, would you agree with that? Should that actually belong here?
Inquiry optimization to improve. Um, yes, because talking about the skills and how to improve, right?
True, but now where's yeah.
The observation will be done in guest funnel.
Yes, because this is not the one that in the BI campaign like specifically divided into
Oh,
Airbnb
that's right.
campaign,
That's right. We have
Facebook
two of
campaign.
these. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we
Yeah,
have
Yep,
two of these before. So the
yep.
squad was essentially doing the chapter's work before, right? Okay, I get it.
mhm.
I get it.
Yeah,
So
so the chapter will, the squad will deliver, like, for example, let's see, okay, the achievement here in this part is 15, for example, right? So it's
mhm,
not achieved. Then the conversion chapter needs to bring the news that, hey, we don't achieve. So yeah,
mhm,
the conversion, Nadine as the funnel manager needs to bring this news to your chapter basically. Hey, in the
mhm.
squad, we actually find out that something
Yep.
is missing in this part. So we need to create a pivot to improve that in
Yep.
this chapter.
Okay. Yeah, I do agree with that. That does sound actually somewhat correct, right? Because it's prioritizing. Um, but we don't have
So
any of
for,
these cards yet, right?
yeah, that's correct because we just trying to we just built the chapter basically still right
Okay.
now. So it can be specific. For example, in guest conversion, right?
Oh
Uh,
my God. Wait, I get it. I get it. Okay, I see it now. So what this should be is a chapter request for optimization, right? So remember what we did before was content requests. We had something that we needed to be done. So we sent a content request to the content team and they would essentially fix the problem, right? So let's say the squad gets together and they notice that, okay, there seems to be a problem in awareness. So they send essentially an awareness optimization request
yep,
to the, and then it pops up as a new issue. And then the awareness chapter then thinks about ways to improve that particular awareness issue until it is
Yep.
resolved, right? And that
yep.
number goes up. Okay, that's actually a pretty interesting communication method. Yeah, okay, I can see that. And then, yeah, doing that on Trello would facilitate. So then the chapter works then according to orders, essentially, right? So the orders come in, and then
Yep,
we
correct.
all get together to try to figure out what is the best.
Orders. So
Yeah,
the squad will be monitor, inspect the implementation of the guidelines, and then if
the
something
chapter
wrong,
will be it should be
the
the chapter.
chapter will be
The,
improve that.
Oh, and then the chapter,
Yep.
the squad looks at implementation of
I
guidelines.
think I think the
Okay.
squad will monitoring the chapter's growth, Kalilis, but
Yeah,
the
the
to
chapter
inspect
goals,
the
but
chapter's guideline will be the chapter, right?
no, I
Okay.
mean the implementation, Nadine. It's not the guidelines, but the implementation. Okay, for example, let's try. Let's try with this
So
one, right?
squad will monitoring all all the guidelines of each
Not really
stages,
all the guidelines, but
each the
the
each of the
symptom
chapter.
is the symptom is from this one, for example, right? Okay, it's not converted. So let's see if the guideline is actually correct. So let's try to find out first meeting. First meeting, right? Conducting a first meeting.
I see. Okay, so
Oh,
the squad is the
something wrong
client
with this
of the
part, for
chapter work.
example. This is just example. Something wrong with the discovery part. I think we need to add questions about the persona. That's just
Right.
example.
Right.
So Nadine, can you bring to your chapter that you need to improve the guidelines for this one? But the squad level is not revising the guideline. You are the one that should do the revision. But the
Yes. Yeah.
symptom is from the squad.
I think I get it. Yeah. Okay.
I get it actually. I get it, but I thought squad would be not like directly inspect the guideline, but it's you just give the
Yeah,
order
I
that
thought
this
that
is
too,
that's
Nadine. I
yeah,
thought
yeah. I
this
feel
was
like
the
you
guideline.
just give us the order. I think we sense this something doesn't right here. Could you please inspect
Right.
your guideline or everything? Please
Yeah.
find
Yeah,
the problem is where.
that's why. But we need to put more context, right, on ourselves. Like, I'm not really sure how you do the first meeting, right? So I need to try to understand first. Uh, If I
Then
don't find, let's say,
the squad people come to the chapter meetings to know.
no, just in
Alilis.
this chapter meeting, right? In this squad meeting, we
Yeah,
discuss.
yeah. I mean, to gain the more context, then the squad people need to come to the chapter meeting, not discuss in the squad basically, Kalilis, for the guidelines. You
If
I'm
it's
not
related
discussing
to,
guideline, but inspecting the implementation, inspecting the guideline. No.
do you get
okay,
what I mean, Mr.
I
J?
understand where the confusion's from. I understand where the
Okay.
confusion's from,
Okay.
but I also understand where there's a new understanding as well. So what we've traditionally believed, Lois, is that the chapter is involved in the tool building, the
Mm-hmm.
adoption, and then the inspection of all the guidelines. So that's essentially what Nadine has done in the sales chapter and in, I think, with some other people in the branding chapter as well, right? So basically what the chapter, the current flow of the chapter is that we inspect ourselves, right? So we look for work that is on guideline. We look for work that is off guideline. We bring that inside. But I actually agree, Nadine, with Lilith. Instead of the chapter inspecting work itself, the chapter can just sit back and wait for the squad to send in requests, right? Why is that better, or could it be better or worse, right? Because I think if the squad sends in a request, it will be a higher priority than stuff that we find ourselves, which is one of the problems I've noticed is happening in the chapter meetings. We seem to go in a random direction most of the time, right? In terms of our discovery, we're just talking about whatever somebody brought up, right? But is that really the most important thing we need to look at? We don't know. So
Yeah.
so imagine now, right? Imagine now Lilith is in charge. Let's say Lilith is looking after the partnership squad, and she looks at this dashboard that we're all looking at right now. She notices that the conversion is the weakest segment, right? So then she asks, who's responsible for conversion in the partnership team and a partnership squad? She goes, oh, it's Nadine and let's say Kyla, right? Okay, Nadine and Kyla, this seems to be the issue. I'm going to flag this as an issue to the conversion chapter, okay? And what I expect is that you guys will come back and tell us if you're following guidelines, right? And understand if you're
Mm-hmm.
following guidelines, if you are actually then, or if the guidelines are being followed, but they're not actually producing the right results, then we need to come up with a new layer of guidelines or a new inspiration of guidelines so that we can actually do this correctly. So then you have a really more efficient prioritization method, right? So currently, the chapter is just investigating issues that are theoretical, right? These could be happening, but we're not necessarily prioritizing the most important discussion first. By creating this type of engagement, I think that will happen. But let's go over to Lilith. Lilith, so basically, you're suggesting the squad itself can double check their members for guideline compliance, right? So the squad will see, have you been following guidelines? And the question will be like, yes, okay, Nadine has followed guidelines. Then, if you have been following guidelines, then go to the chapter meeting, bring up this issue, and come back with a result by the next meeting. I can see that working, right? Because normally, Nadine, the chapter inspects, right? But this saves the chapter some work, and it doesn't create a bunch of noise in the chapter now. Because imagine if the squad kept on sending in optimization requests, and the problem was simply because that member didn't follow guidelines, right? It would then be a waste of meeting time to then, do that. So the squad can double check that first and then send only requests over for the member has followed the guidelines, but the guidelines are not perfect, right? The guidelines are not actually helping us achieve our goals. You need to innovate these guidelines and produce better guidelines, and then come back after they've been done and do that. Lilith, does that sound right to you?
Yeah, I think that's what I have in mind too. With the
Okay.
current understanding, at least.
Okay. So that I think is the before, and this is the after. We're all going through this transition period, so sometimes we have to
Mhm.
like let go of what we did last week, right? But ultimately, I tend to agree, Nadine, with this new plan, and it is more efficient, and it's already going to solve a problem that we have, which is how do we discover what is the highest priority discussions we should have during the chapter meetings.
Yeah. So actually, for example, like let's see. which initiative is that? Let's inspect whether we place it correctly or not. For this one, that's correct, right? Because inquiry optimization, it's in conversion site. And then for this one, the canvassing campaign, this one is a campaign, but this one is only a part of it. But for the canvassing campaign itself, uh, it's difficult to really wait. Yeah, that's all conversion, right? Okay, so that's fine. Also, um, let's see other card that might be
That's a good
maybe.
one, Lewis. So the canvassing campaign, is it a mission or is it a skill, right? Once again, I think it's the same thing. It's a mission, it's not a skill. What the skill
Uh, but
is
that's actually all in
efficiency in
conversion, right?
canvassing, right?
Yeah, the efficiency in canvassing. That's correct. But
Right.
we need to monitor each
Just the efficiency.
campaign.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this particular card is a mission card. It shows you essentially who's part of the mission, who's going to accomplish the mission. The chapter card for this should be this, right? It should be more what is wrong with the canvassing campaign, right? What's the efficiency that we're targeting? What is the current efficiency? And then the attachments and the journey should be we've done this workshop together. We've done this, and perhaps a visualization of just the efficiency of the campaign of the thing. So we focus primarily. I know this might sound confusing to everybody, but one is the goal. The second is, are we being good at, let's say, are we efficient at our methods in achieving the goal, right? They're slightly different topics, I think, right? One is the progress. The second is like the quality of the progress.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think Mr. Jing's explanation is according to what I have in mind. But for this canvassing campaign, for example, that's already in the correct. We just need. Okay, we have the SLA already, so that's actually correct. That's in the conversion side because all of the activity inside this card, it's belong to conversion
Yep.
or from the outreach until
Yes.
conversion for the deal. So the card is correct to be placed here. That's from my side, sir. You
Okay.
get what I
If,
mean?
if that's correct, then when you get
Mhm.
together to, let's say, talk about squad business, right? What will you guys talk about?
In the squad business on how to transforming them and then how to wait. Yeah, basically the achievement of it, and then uh, okay. Let's try to. I forget. Okay, this one, yeah.
Mhm.
Not that one. Where is it? This one. Transfer high level insights to smaller work group unit, which is
Okay.
chapter. Discuss a strategic decision to achieve SLA.
Right.
And then the agenda. This is from us by you actually. Reviewing the report of squad level KPI with goal. Understand overall squad performance this week.
Okay.
Understand which chapter to focus on improvement, to
Okay.
align topic for discussion at the next chapter discussion, to keep chapter campaign and work focus aligned with the squad goal, and then
Okay.
designing squad strategy for this week.
Okay, got it. So what we need to think about then is this, right? How much of the current campaign discussions don't need to happen in the squad anymore? Is it all of it then?
Sorry, actually. Sorry, sir, you were a bit
Oh,
lagging
sorry.
actually.
Uh, how much of the campaign discuss? Okay, so we have generally two in our traditional meetings before this reorganization. We have two kinds of discussions, right? We have a campaign
Yep.
discussion on the Trello board, and then we had the discussion on the paper, right?
Yep.
So it seems like most of the discussions should be conducted at chapter level now because it's about the hows. Um, well, actually, we need to separate those. Yeah.
Uh, I think the discovery needs to be done in the squad chapter. That's why
Yes.
share
Yeah.
high level insights, right?
Discovery is done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Discovery is done in the
But
squad. Okay.
the chapter only need to do one time meeting. For example, you'd like to use this. So the discussion is to this where is it? Oh my god. To enhance each card performance. But the squad level will bring idea to the chapter to create any other card if needed.
Ah, interesting. So then
To create
we're
another card.
moving all Trello discussions to,
Chapter.
which is not the way that we're currently doing it, and it's very envision.
Yeah, like perhaps we need to discuss it furthermore. But what my
But,
understanding that I get, and also I think Ara too in this part because the
mhm.
Transformation campaign also looks like this,
Right.
right?
Okay.
So, oh my god,
Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it.
yeah.
Interesting.
So we will be first and in the leadership level. I think Mr. J,
Yeah, I think we're getting to think
before we
that.
don't bring
Oh
anything.
crap! So this is mixing everything together now, right? Oh no,
Yes.
yeah, I don't think that's. I don't think that's a good idea. Not at all, actually. That creates so much noise and so much. Um, okay, let's say for the transformation,
Yes.
now you're mixing employee and guest and all this stuff together. This is not
Mm.
what the purpose of the chapter is to do, right? It's not to monitor the progression of each campaign card. The real job of the chapter is to monitor the progression of skills, not campaigns.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah, that's the
Correct.
so
understanding. Right.
Yeah.
that's actually I asked to Ara previously. So if we bring
Right.
guest, partner, and employees, and then we tell about
It
our
becomes,
campaign,
yeah,
it
yeah.
will be
Then we
confusion
get
in the
stuck in.
meeting. Yeah,
Yeah. So
Mm.
that's not the right move, everyone. That's the wrong move. Um.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's good. We
So,
detected like
yeah.
earlier before we
Yeah,
go
yeah, yeah, no,
further.
this is what this
Yeah,
is for, everyone. This is failing
yeah.
fast rather than failing like a month later, right? So, okay,
Sure,
that part
sure.
is immediately wrong. We do not do Scrum updates at chapter. We update on our skill levels in the chapter. Does that make sense? So,
Yeah.
in a transformation chapter, what the update should be is: are we making progress transforming users, right? In aggregate first, right? And then specifically, which particular user do we need to prioritize transformation? And then after that, we ask the question, are we using guidelines for transformations? If the answer is no, then we need to go back and follow guidelines. If the answer is yes, and we still don't get the results, then we need to create new tools in the chapter to suffice. So that's it.
yeah,
It should be that simple, right? Not monitoring and inspecting all the
campaign.
campaign cards. The campaign cards need to go all back to the squads.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we need to get agreement like from all the chapter lead. I think chapter lead should be you, Ara, and
Yeah, we need to get together to confirm. But this is
you,
okay.
Ara,
I
me, and
checked this before.
Asra.
I didn't know that we were going this direction
Yeah,
already.
sure, sure.
So this is okay. Hey, by the way, everybody, this is the way to do it. I actually okay. Listen up, everyone. I know, and actually, if you can't turn on your cameras, right? Because sometimes it helps me to see if somebody's confused or not, and I
Okay,
can't
guys, open your
really
camera.
understand that
You're
if
handsome and
because
beautiful, guys.
yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. Listen up, everybody. This is a core value moment, okay? And this is important. If you've been sitting here wondering what the hell is going on and feeling a little bit lost, that's actually good, okay? That's good. Because what the alternative would be is nobody did anything and everybody just sits there and just kind of like, okay, well, take no action, right? So this is actually exactly what we mean by to fail fast. We do something, we realize what we did is not right, and then we stop doing it, right? And then we get back to the right track, okay? So it isn't success, but it is a better way to fail than taking no action at all during a time transition. And I'm really happy to see that we actually did do it this way, okay? So
Mhm.
sometimes startup life isn't all about success and more success. Sometimes we do take wrong movements, but make sure when we do take the wrong movement, we detect it as quickly as possible, and then we get back on the right track. Okay. So I think this today is a pretty good illustration of this particular process. I agree, Lilith. I think we need to solidify some upper
Yep.
level decisions first, and then probably come
Yeah,
back
sure.
to this group when it's more clear.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Jim. Perhaps one more, like it's already like 45 minutes, but example from business intelligence actually, I haven't refined the mission yet, but that's still okay. Accelerating the revenue growth through efficiency and effectiveness
Yes,
actually, right? To the
yes.
strategy. That's for the chapter itself. So some project that is okay. Let a good example on how to illustrate that is, for example, the revenue projection. So it's like transformation from booking. It's a tool to inspect transformation from what is that, awareness to booking and to revenue, basically, right? So
That's right.
that's the tool that created by the optimization chapter.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And
And other than that, yeah, sure, Mr. J.
here's the
Please go ahead.
exciting thing, Lilith. I just realized something. The real issue is now whether these cards belong on the BI chapter Trello or the other chapter Trellos.
This one.
Yeah, the question right now is, do those cards now belong in BI or do they belong in the chapter Trello, right? Because essentially all of these things in BI are tools to create better performance.
Yep.
They're skills essentially, right? So that's the real question now. Where does
I think
BI?
it's still okay to belong to this because the skill itself is to create automation. So it's owned by the PI member, right?
Correct.
And I'm not seeing everyone not having a strategic skill, but the business analyst team is hired to develop the strategic understanding. That's why,
That's
for
right.
example, we make the SPO, right? It's
Mhm,
for the conversion from awareness to bookings, let's say.
mhm.
So I think that's still okay in this part, in this PI part.
So then the
No?
question is now this, right? Should the SPO be moved to, let's say, the conversion chapter, right? Because it is a type of conversion optimization now, right? And if you move it to the conversion chapter, well, it's okay. I won't confuse anybody anymore, right? That's probably one of the other sub discussions we should have. But I think right now what we can do, Lil, since we use it, is we should probably bypass this discussion and come back when there's
Yeah.
a better framework and reintroduce it when we have thought it out more clearly. Yeah.
Yes, yes. I think so because from my observation, there's so many confusion in our
Mm,
team actually, sir. That's
mhm.
why needs to be like this needs to be fixed before we really move to the new structure, I guess.
Let's do this then, Lilith. Let's recruit some people who would like to be confused as well and figure out a solution to this problem. Who do you think we should delegate this to?
I think this still in leadership part.
Okay, but who can we bring so that they start learning to
Oh,
become leaders?
to become sorry, become
To become
what, sir?
become leaders as well, because it takes
Leaders?
in these transformation moments for somebody to develop the correct experience and
Mm-hmm.
intuition, right? So if we just do amongst leaders, then we don't teach anybody
Mm,
else to be able to be our delegates in case something doesn't work, right? And we know that, hey, protect what we love what we understand, and understand what we teach. So we got to teach in order to get somebody to protect it.
I think studying to become a client will be best person that join this
Yeah,
discussion.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll leave
So
that to you.
that should be Kak Tandy because Kak Tandy has the most critical question in this part. Even actually Ara cannot really catch this confusion, right? As the chapter lead. So I'm not really sure with the other. Do you have the same question? But the one that I observe having the same question is Kak Tandy and also Ross last time.
Excellent. So
Ross.
let's bring them in so that they get through to understand this from the core level too as well. And that is how we can then
Sure.
eventually delegate to others on this team so that they, if they come
Okay.
across this, they'll be able to explain it and figure.
Okay, I think there will be a great time for tomorrow in the leadership discussion, sir. Okay. And also Ross. Yeah, I don't think Ross can join actually because she has class. Okay, Kak Tandi, please join the session tomorrow, yeah, and come up with so many questions from you and also your team. Yeah.
Hope
Uh,
because tomorrow I'm day off
oh ya bener juga.
in
Ya, tomorrow
Singaraja.
is penambahan ya.
Yeah.
Eh,
Yeah, I just
I'll
be
have
put
to,
the
Kak Lilis ya.
put the this
Oke Nadine,
question.
sure sure. Gimana Kak Tendi?
I will put the question on the.
Okay, sure. On the leadership in the leadership section, Nadine, you also can come to this discussion. Everyone that would like to come also possible. Tomorrow we'll be focused
Kak,
on that.
actually, I have some interesting question.
Sure.
Like, are we
What is
dividing
that?
our chapter based on activity or actually skill set? Because if it's skill set, then what is initially the skill set for um, advocacy and also transformations?
What is the skill set of
Yep.
transformation and
If we're
advocacy?
dividing, yeah, if we divide the chapters based on skill set, then what skill set is required for the advocacy and also transformations? Isn't it somewhat similar like conversions? Or I don't know. That's why I'm asking whether we divide it actually based on activity or exactly skill set.
Based on the stage, yeah.
Theoretically, it's skill sets, but Mr. Jing, I think
Let's
you
go with
are
Tendi
better.
first. Tendi, what do you think?
I think the chapter I saw like the chapter is kind of like this the stage like from the top like awareness to conversion, then until the advocacy back to the awareness again. It's like a stage, right? Not like a per
Mhm.
skill set like that. Because if skill, I think transformation need conversion skill like persuasion and negotiation, and then also
Mhm.
the advocacy as well maybe like that. And
Okay. Okay, got it. Here's what I think actually. I don't think any particular changes need to be made in the way that this group conducts its discussions or in its previous. So you still get together to talk about campaigns and all the things. So that part I don't think needs to change at all, actually. What we're adding right now is just certain times, Lilith, right? The campaign doesn't move because people don't have the right skill, or they're not using the right guidelines, or there's no guidelines for how to do this, right? In those cases, what we have never had before was a place where people can learn the skill, learn the guidelines, and learn the ways to actually do this particular thing that they're expected to do. So the formation of chapters is really just to solve a simple problem, which is, do we have campaigns that no matter what, week after week, we don't see really any progress because there's a lack of skill? And
okay.
if that answer is yes, then that's why we have chapter meetings, because then what we've noticed is that same skill that's missing in this particular squad is probably the same skill that is missing in another squad, and is probably maybe the skill that has already been learned in another squad, right? So we might as well just bring together these groups of people who need to share skills. To answer Nadine's question, there are definitely thematic differences, I think. There's shared things, but there's also thematic differences, right? And this is okay, all right? So let's say for transformation, the skill set should be a lot around community building. That is how you transform a large group of people. So finding your advocate, then empowering your advocate to speak and give them a space, and then using that advocate to then form habits around a wider group of people. That is a community building skill. We do that with employees. We do that. We should do that for guests, and we do that with partners as well, right? Advocacy is kind of a different level of skill, right? Advocacy is finding the story, right? That is, it's two things. It's finding the story that is, it's content management and engagement management, right? Back again. So content, what is the story that tells what we envision is the transformation process with one of their users, right? So that's, I think, what Ross and us has been doing with the partner transformation stories. The second is, how do you engage with that? How do you get that message to spread? Where do you distribute it? Where do you get people to share it? Where do you get that sort of growth on it? So that's kind of like the main skill sets involved in advocacy. So I've noticed that is a similar skill set whether you're dealing with guest employees or whatever, right? Or partners. Sorry, not whatever, or partners. But you also are right, Nadine. Let's say persuasion and negotiation. I think every single layer probably will need that particular skill, right?
Yeah.
So using these particular skill sets is applicable to everything. So we might start having something of guilds forming then now. Remember from the
Yeah,
Spotify video?
the
So
guild.
guilds are essentially groups of people who are from different chapters and different squads, but need to get together to talk about something that affects all of them, right? Which could be how persuasion negotiation goes. Okay. So anyway, that's essentially what is my best understanding of how to why there's chapters, why there's squads, and how to organize them.
Hmm. Okay, then. Thank you very much, Mr. Jing, for the explanation for Nadine's question. Nadine, do you have follow-up questions, or have you get like better understanding?
Yes, I guess we'll continue this on the leadership meeting, I think,
Okay,
after
then.
this.
Yep. Thank you very much for this discussion. At least we find out that there is confusion, and then we need to improve it.
Lilis,
Since we already only yeah, Miss
I
Ganda.
think we still have 3 minutes, right?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
still have 3 minutes.
yeah. Maybe I just want to be because I just want to what's called tell in what in my mind now. So for the squad level, so we talking about or we discussing about the all the funnel, right, from the awareness,
Yep.
preparation,
Right.
everything. And then on the chapter, for example, like me in the transformation, it's like optimize the transformation, only the transformation. And then
Yep.
for example, if I have a campaign, then in my campaign there is some stage, right? And then if there is a low, I have a low conversion like that. So might be I need to join the guild, like a
Join
association,
the
negotiation, to
Yeah.
the to get the what's called solution
chapter.
to improve my conversion on my campaign, like that. If in the advocate, for example, like a referral, so maybe I have a referral, there's a advocacy guild or something like, or something to get there. So it's like the guild for the optimize the stage of the campaign, like that, right?
Yes.
Okay, okay, got it. Thanks.
And and Tendi,
Yep.
here's I think the takeaway, Lilith. Nothing changes in this. This is why I kind of am worried when you say you want to get rid of this meeting because or change this meeting, because this meeting you still do the same thing. It's the squad meeting, right? It's where you discuss all, or I don't know. Actually, was this meeting just discussion before, or was it a review of the Trello cards?
Uh, sorry. So this one is for the discussion section in the old format, right?
Ah, okay,
Discussion
okay.
section of the old format, but the topic for the discussion is moving out the Trello
Yeah.
I
board
see.
because previously we understand that we will remove the you already removed the marketing meeting, right? Marketing chapter meeting. I think we don't have marketing chapter meeting. We only have awareness meeting.
Awareness, yeah.
Yeah, right,
But that
right.
was just
So this
simply a change in the name.
Actually,
Yeah.
yesterday we had discussed with Bayu as well. So the
Mhm.
first, so we will adjust actually the time for this meeting, right? So
Mhm.
for the first, we will have the partnership meeting, and then after that,
Mhm.
we following with the chapter meeting. And then also if there's any sub discussion like a guild meeting to optimize, so it's like a in one day we get all that because we have the idea in the first meeting. And then
Right, right,
so
right,
yeah,
right,
so
right, right.
because
I
if like
recall. Yeah.
this is separate, right? On Monday we have the meeting, and then and then the next meeting in the Wednesday on the partnership. I think the context it's lost.
That's true.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we would
That's true.
like to adjust the
The,
time.
but let's be correct here first. Let's get stability before we get
Yeah.
optimization. So what you just said sounds like optimization, but right now I think we need to get a bit of stability. Um, okay, Lils, ideally the kind of meetings that we had before are sort of valid. We just need to filter them, right? So whatever meeting we did before in this group to look at the Trello board, that was the squad meeting. That was always the squad meeting. That's essentially looking at each Trello board and updating everybody. That shouldn't change, right? That just gets called the squad meeting instead of a chapter meeting.
I think previously it's not squad meeting, sir, because we miss the awareness funnel from marketing, from the digital marketing.
Oh,
There's
I
no
get
Full
it.
funnel.
Okay. Okay, let's do the before and after then. So the
yeah.
before
So
was
it's
there.
like the old definition of chapter, or the
Right,
old
right.
definition of chapter.
I get it. I get it.
Right
I get it.
now,
I get it.
we plan actually to have a sub, like this one.
Okay.
For example, we already have the squad meeting, and then we discover problem in each stage. So
Hmm.
after 1 hour meeting with the squad, 1 hour after that will be meeting for the conversion team, which is in this one, BD, right?
Which
Let
is right
me
after this
show
meeting.
you the right after. No, not this meeting. Yesterday meeting. Yesterday meeting is on Wednesday at 1 p.m. Bali time.
After this. Okay. All
That's
right. Got
squad
it.
meeting. Yeah, I already invite you from next week, I guess.
Okay.
So Nadine, Wayana, Kayla will get together, and then we will have transformation. Tandy, Ross, and Asa get together. We plan
Hmm.
to merge this one and advocacy. So still there will be meeting for CM. But the questions right now is the board, which board that they would like to use,
I
something like
see.
that, right?
I got.
So perhaps the idea of using this board to arrange this meeting is still okay with you.
Ah, I remember why we have this problem too now, Lilith,
Right.
because we shouldn't be using boards for chapter meetings. We should be using Coda. But the problem with Coda is that there is no chapter level Coda documents, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, only squad level, and this one is for the optimization only, leadership,
Right.
BI, and also PD.
Right, right. There's no chapter level like transformation because that comes across all the different squads. So
Yeah,
I think
that's correct. That's
yeah,
why they need to investigate each of the guidelines, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
this
that's
is
right.
the CODA documentation, but not the not a trial.
Yeah,
So for trailer, it's usually for an MVP, right? Whether it is
yeah,
success or not, it
yeah.
and then decide if it is success, then we put to CODA as the guideline, something like that.
Okay. For okay, chapter level work is not really projects. It's mostly to create guidelines and adopt guidelines and inspect guidelines, right? So that's chapter level work. So squad level work is to create projects. Um, you can think of it this way, everybody. Chapter
Yeah,
level work
yeah.
is like laws. It's like creating laws, making sure laws are enforced, and creating new laws, right? So that's like kind of the theme of chapter level work.
Yeah.
Um, so Trello
Hmm.
isn't necessarily the best tool for doing that. It's not
Yes.
like yeah.
Hmm. That's actually interesting. Yeah, like the guest, like the guest funnel. See, for the campaign itself, it's still in BI, right? The revenue
Mhm.
campaign, right? The board
Right.
is still in BI. That's that's squad, right?
Yes.
We
Essentially,
don't
that should be
have
in the
any
squad.
other board for the squad, but it's in BI since previously is originally from BI.
It's because
But
BI is
for
concentrating all the information into one place, right? It's focusing all
uh,
the vitals in
yep,
one area. Yeah.
correct. Then perhaps we should have. Yeah, I'm not really sure yet about that, so I think we need
No
to
worries, no
discuss it.
worries. This is good. We need to make some decisions. This decision is who's going to be the host and who's going to be the guest, right? So let's say in BI's case, do BI want to be the host or the guest? So if BI is the guest, then they follow each particular squad and each particular chapter to monitor these particular progressions, right? If BI is the host, then they invite all the other sort of people into their meeting to see what's going on, right? So that's just a question of who's host and who's guest. But yeah, these are good questions. These are all the kind of runtime issues that we couldn't foreseen when we made these decisions. So now we're beginning to see them, and then these are the things we need to address. I think at leadership level.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think intelligent mostly as a guest inspect all like, looking
It could be. It could
maybe.
be. But let's not make any decisions right now. Let's have conversations and then come back with decisions. Yeah.
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, since the time is up, we over time 5 minutes, I think.
Good
I
discussion today.
have Yeah, we haven't that's the discussion today. We haven't like discussed any other topics related to that. Kak Tendi, if you'd like to ask for someone to respond to your feedback topics here, I think everyone can integrate your coda to Slack to get notification. If I'm not mistaken, Mr. Jeng,
Jing,
you're
I think
speaking.
you mute.
Oh, perhaps it's other
Yeah,
meeting.
still mute, Jing. Hah? Oh, beda.
Yeah, beda meeting kayaknya.
Oh,
Okay then. I'd like to finish this meeting today. Thank you very much everyone for coming. And for everyone who